My name is Razak Musbao, and you're specially tuned into Joy Prime. It's the maiden edition of the ultimate wrap of the day's action in the AFCON. This is AFCON tonight, and here what we'll bring you is the insightful analysis. We give you a bit of a touchscreen analysis of all that happened, the wonderful skills that did take place. We'll give you a little insight into the detail of the games that happened today. The tournament itself started on Saturday with host nation Ivory Coast. A pretty exciting game against Guinea-Bissau. And then on Sunday, that's where the action all unfolded. Nigeria drawing with Equatorial Guinea. Egypt also drawing Mozambique. And the Black Stars of Ghana, disappointingly, losing to Cape Verde. And of course, I'm sure a lot of you were super disappointed about that. But the action continued today. Senegal, the reigning champions, did make light work of Gambia. 3-0. That one ended. And it was followed by the other game between Cameroon and their counterpart Guinea, 1-0. That one ended. Ongoing, and just a few minutes at the end of the game, is Angola versus Algeria. And as at the time we're coming here, that game was still 1-1 over there. Tonight, we're going to take a closer look at the game between Senegal and Gambia and the game between Cameroon and Guinea. In these two games, there was a red card. Gambia got a red card. We'll take a closer look at the red card they got, whether it was indeed a fair red card. Likewise, Guinea picked up a red card against Cameroon. We'll take a closer look at that. We'll bring you the VR section of it, and also some really exciting goals were scored in those two games. We'll take a closer look at all of that also. On this show, we'll love to hear from you. So we're going to have a little session for you watching us who would love to contribute to the show in a special fan zone on Zoom. So we're going to have the Zoom ID on the screen very shortly. You can join, and hopefully we'll be able to pick the thoughts of one or two fans and see what you make of the action that unfolded today. Now, in studio with me are the regulars on Sports Zone, and Sicho is here, the big man is here. He wasn't so impressed with the Black Stars, and he says, Charlie, if you know said that day like that,
nobody was impressed with the Black Stars.
I think said that day. And yeah. Daniel, the man, is here also. Yeah, man. And he still got hopes alive. His hope is still alive.
Oh, it's Ghana. I can't kill my film, Charlie.
42 years.
It's Ghana.
It's 42 years. So the guys are here, and they're going to bring us all the analysis and, all of that. Well, you're supposed to be watching Sports Zone, but because of the AFCON, you're going to be on break for a while. And AFCON tonight is going to be on Monday to Friday, 10 to 11 p.m. Join us every day on Joy Prime for all of it, all right? Let's start with the first game that happened today between Senegal and the Gambia. It ended 3-0. But how did it all unfold? We've got it for you.
Akimfanyia Frank Magri. Rekodi madhambi ambayo ukitazama
The recriminations, I'm sure, will go on, and you'll have a lot of explaining to do. And then Ismail Assar into Lamine Camara, the young 20-year-old, tipped to be a star of the future in Senegalese football. And didn't he make that look easy? First touch to set himself. The second touch buried into the bottom corner. Try again. Lovely skill, lovely turn. To Camara! And Camara finds the back of the net with an absolute beauty. Lovely goal, really was, and that's a double from this young man. And what a way to introduce yourself to the Africa Cup of Nations. Simply stunning from this young prodigy. And that's a goal to savour for Senegal. Firstly, the swivel and footwork from Njai. And then he's blown for full time, and the defending champions have started the defence of their campaign.
Yeah, so that's how the defending champion Senegal started their campaign. An emphatic 3-0 victory over the Gambia, who, a lot of people describe them as underdogs, but also do expect them to show some, bit of magic in this tournament. Remember, the show is brought to you by Hunters, and Hunters introducing Hunter's Real Apple Cider, a crisp and refreshing beverage that's perfect for any occasion, made from hand-picked apples and crafted using traditional techniques. Hunter's real apple cider is bursting with natural apple flavors and a hint of sweetness. Unlike other ciders, Hunter real apple cider is made from 100% pure apple juice with no added sugar or artificial flavors. Whether you're looking for a chilled, refreshing drink on a hot, sunny day or a warming beverage during the colder months, Hunter's real apple cider is the perfect choice. And enjoy it on its own or pair it with your favorite meal for a delicious and satisfying experience. Experience the true taste of real apples in every sip with Hunter's real apple cider. Hunter's apple cider, it's got real apples, another quality product from Casa Preco. And for more purchase, you can call us on 026-235-1251. Well, the guys are here. Charlie, Senegal, they didn't joke at all. They started the way they ended the AFCON, some 2 years ago.
Look,
straight.
Super stuff from them. Look, it's really important when you're facing teams like Gambia. When I say teams like Gambia, I mean teams that are able to sit back, very compact, very difficult to break down. When you face teams like that, it's very essential to get that early goal. And that's what Senegal did. Once you get the early goal, what is the point in defending? The opposition will now have to open up and try and get back into it. That unsettling them early on will just get you the advantage. And from then you could see the Senegalese were very calm, very composed on the ball, were able to string their passes together. And what impressed me about the first goal was their star players were all involved in it. So Mane setting up Lamine Camara, the superstar of the Under-20 AFCON, Sadio Mane, of course, the star of the Senegalese team. When you have your big names in there being instrumental in such a key moment in the game, it unsettles all the nerves. It allows you to come out and play your football. And from then, Gambia were not used to this because if you remember the last AFCON, their entire team was set up, or their entire system was set up to defend and then counter. They never really had to chase games. And when you put them in this position, you're always going to disturb them a little bit. And that's what the Senegalese did. And from this 4th minute in the game, you're already down by a goal. And of course, when you have the quality that Senegal has, the mixture of experience and youth, you expect them to go on and dominate the game and finish it off. And they did it brilliantly, especially in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Sicho, for Gambia, though, going prior to this tournament, they had their own issues, Protest had to, some sort of protests for the non-payment of their bonus.
Right.
And there was the flight issues.
Yeah.
Are these excuses that you can use to excuse them for the performance we witnessed today?
Yeah, when you lose in the manner in which they've lost, there are reasonable excuses to give, really, because they really have the best of preparations. But let's be fair, it's Gambia against Senegal, with all due respect to Gambia. But Senegal had to prove that they were champions because we've seen in the past, in the last decade, that when champions have come to the AFCON, it's that they've not qualified, or but when they've come, they've not had the best of starts. And we saw Algeria, in trying to defend their title 2 years ago, they were knocked out from the group stage. They had a very poor start. So all of that might have been weighing on Senegal's heads. And now they made it easy. As Danny said, the way they started the game also laid the marker for them for the rest of the game. And for Gambia, it was the way they approached the game, really. And we'll get to that because, as Danny said, they like to defend deep and hit you in the counter. But what they were doing a lot today was camping in the box.
Okay.
What they wanted to do was to stop everything coming into the box. What they didn't try to do was to stop runners from midfield or close down markers on the edge of the box. When you see the goals they conceded, it was a lot of Gambian players in the box, but at least runners into the box or runners onto the edge of the box were not dealt with and they paid for it.
I mean, you've been looking at the goals closely, and of course, we have the touchscreen analysis that you're going to go to it right now and show us what you observed, because we're just making reference to how they conceded those goals and, how, of course, you seem to suggest that they could have done better. What did you find?
Yeah, I think, like I said, the game plan was just to camp in the box, try and frustrate Senegal as long as they can. And we know in football, the more you frustrate them, the better a chance you get, or you get the moment because they'll be agitated. So what they were trying to do, Gambia, was to get a lot of bodies into their 18-yard box. Now, when you see the first goal that they conceded, it was very early in the game, but the intentions were clear. They have many, many players in and around the box, but on the edge of the box, there's nothing happening there. So if I play this on right now, as the ball comes into the box, look at the number of Gambian players who have flooded the box, right? They've got about 4 players, all of them around the goalkeeper and trying to deal with the ball that has come into the box. There they are. Plenty of them. There's one person here. But the other thing that they failed to do really is the spaces around the edge of the box, right? Where there is absolutely nobody marking these spaces. So this is what happens. The fact that there's nobody on the edge of the box, the pass comes through, and absolutely, because they were so focused on protecting the box, packing the bars in the box, making it so tight so that Ismail Assar, Sadio Mane doubling up on them, not giving them one-on-one. And if we saw the game, to be fair to them, they barely gave Senegal 1v1 opportunities for them to go past their defenders. And that was what they sought to do. And if you look at the second goal as well, it's another example. But what Senegal did brilliantly was playing through the lines and setting themselves behind the lines. So if you see, we're going to see the second goal. Now, it's Kalidou Koulibaly who gets the ball and is approaching. So when you look at Senegal in the middle of the park, they are almost hiding behind the Gambian midfield. One thing is, they trust the passing ability of their centre-back. And throughout the game, it was clear that they could get themselves not in front of Gambia, but in behind the lines of Gambia. And when I talk about in behind the lines, this is an example here. Now, when you look at the Gambian team, they've got one man here, they've got one man there, and they've got one man here, right? But what you realize straight away is Senegal have positioned their midfield behind the lines, right there. So all they need now is for somebody to pick a very good ball, break the line, so line breaking pass through this line, and straight away Senegal are facing the back line of Gambia. So as the pass comes, look at this. And at this point, it's not bad marking by Gambia. At this point, it is not bad marking because they've got three bodies here, right, who are then trying to shadow cover what is in behind them for Senegal. But what they didn't maybe expect, or what they left to chance, was the passing ability of Kalidou Koulibaly here to ping this ball right down the tiny space, right? And so that is exactly what Kalidou Koulibaly does. He pings the ball. But as he's going to ping the ball, Gambia are left with only one DM here. And so I spoke about the spaces they had vacated throughout the whole game, if you like. These spaces right there. The spaces in behind, where you see the line. That is a big space that should not be left. That space shouldn't be left. But they've left that space. And, they've left that space. And the DM now is in two minds. Because as soon as Sarr takes the ball, the one clear opportunity he has of causing problems is going this route there, into that space. If he makes that pass, there's this run. They are right in behind Gambia. So what he's seeking to do here, the DM, is to close down this space. It's difficult for him because he's got to two minds. Either he's closing down this space or he's marking his man. So he's trying to close down this space, and there's a third man running. First man is Kalidou Koulibaly with the ball. Sarr picks up the ball, and this is the third man. So we see the third run coming through. Lamine Camara, lovely first touch, right down the middle, and the goalkeeper, right down the side of the corner, and the goalkeeper can't make a save. So it's a simple case of still Gambia camping in the box. And imagine this, another one. Just let me show you something. As this rolls on, then we'll see. Imagine if Gambia, realizing this space, were confident enough to step up a little bit. I guarantee you they block this run. But they don't step up because they are so desperate not to get the ball in behind them. But in the end, they consider go to that. Then the third goal is another example of that. At that point, obviously, they are man down. They still commit a lot of bodies in the box. So look at it. You can count the number of Gambian players. There's one here, there's two there, there's three, there's four, there's five, there's six, there's seven. All of them were in the box. The one place they don't find themselves is the eventual goal scorer on the edge of the box. At least somebody should be aware of the danger, right, on the edge of the box. Somebody should be aware, be somewhere around here and close down the space. That doesn't happen. And the ball eventually comes to the bright young star, Lamine Camara. And he still had plenty to do. On the edge of the box, nobody closing him down. Still had a woeful lot to do. But just the little swivel of taking that step back and shaping himself up to open himself up and get the curler into the top corner is what was magnificent. So Gambia decided to camp in their box, but what Senegal realized was that they could use the edge of the box and those runs in the midfield.
How easy was it for the Senegalese player who gave the assist to Lamine Camara to score that goal? How easy was it for him to, wasn't it too easy to have dribbled, even do that 360 turn over there? Wasn't that a little too easy for him?
I think it's one, quick feet, and two, the fear of the Gambian players trying to not to overcome it. He's in and around the box. It could be a penalty, it could be a dangerous free kick. So, and again, he was dribbling away from goal. Now, every reasonable defender is trying to push him away from goal. So they did well to push him away from goal, but what they didn't do well in protecting was the edge of the box. And once the ball got to Lamine Camara, the game was gone.
I mean, Daniel, interesting, analysis there. What did you make of it, though?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I like the way Cicho has captured the style of defending that the Gambians were using. There's a difference. Some people like to go man for man. They were protecting their box. But again, the mistake, and that's what I'm a bit disappointed in Senegal, because when you go back to the last AFCON, his side was doing that. When teams defended very deep, his side had technically gifted players that could hit balls from distance. Now, if you are doing this against Senegal, then you have to do it on the knowledge that they don't have players like that who can punish you from distance. But if you defend like this, and they have the likes of Lamine Camara, not just him, but basically the entire front line, including their two central midfielders, are very technically gifted. We know Mane can hit one from distance. Lamine has showed, even from the Under-20 World Cup, he can hit from distance. So if you're going to give anybody space in and around the box, the edge of the box, it is not this Senegalese team. And if you are going to allow them the space, maybe protect the box, that's fine, but be on the lookout for that ball that will be laid on the edge of the box and be quick to close down. But nobody picked it up. The first goal that was scored, nobody picked it up. The third goal that was scored by Lamine Camara, nobody picked it up. And you can talk about how not many people would score that sort of goal. Look, if you give any decent central midfielder that amount of space, they are surely going to hit the target. It was a very well-weighted pass into his right foot, his favorite right foot, and you expect him to trouble the goalkeeper. Of course, the placement was absolutely exquisite, but you don't give them those opportunities in and around the box.
Well, one thing that did happen was a red card.
Yeah.
Gambia were down by one man, and as the game unfolded, someone will say, well, maybe because of that, it's affected their shape, even their mindset and approach to the game. First of all, we're going to take a look at the red card that was handed to Gambia. And the guys are going to tell me, was this a good call? Was the red card a good call from the referee? Let's take a look at it.
Ebou Adams just raking his studs down the back of his opponent. Initially given a yellow, overturned in the end. And then this was the incident, went to VAR. A moment of madness from Gambia midfielder Ebou Adams, just raking his studs down the back of his opponent. Initially given a yellow, overturned in the end. And then this was the incident, went to VAR. A moment of madness from Gambia midfielder Ebou Adams, just raking his studs down the back of his opponent. Initially given a yellow, overturned in the end. And then this was the incident, went to VAR.
So that was the red card the Gambian skipper picked up over there. It's fair to say that in football, there's nothing like, oh, Manchester, it's not intentional. But was that too harsh? Cicho?
I can understand why the referee gave it. And for others who think it's harsh, I can also understand why they think so. I think, again, when you look at it in replay and in slow motion, the way VAR puts it, it makes it even worse. Was his foot in a natural motion according to the way his body was moving? Yeah, I think so. I think it was. But once your leg is that high on the ankle of, on the heel of a footballer, and the referee sees it in the way VAR shows it to the referee, I just thought that is where it makes it look worse than it really was. And I think it's one of those, I personally understand why the referee gave it, but if he didn't give it, I wouldn't complain.
Now, Dana, there was a red card in the game between Cameroon and Guinea. I'll come to that, so I'll get your thoughts on that one. But we're going to switch to the game between Cameroon and Guinea now. Now, if you look at how this group is shaping up, exciting, because on Friday, the game is a big one between Senegal versus Cameroon. Both sides will play their second game. But at the moment, Senegal are top of the group. I'm sure Cameroon is somewhere second, and Guinea third, and Gambia languishing at the bottom of the table. But this is what happened in that game between Cameroon and Guinea. It was a relatively exciting game, and surprising that Cameroon were unable to punish Guinea even after going a man down. We've got the highlight for you. And after that, Daniel will go to the touch screen and show us what really happened in that game.
Into the middle it goes. Excellent early chance. Good save as well. Not clear. That's a solid tackle from Makudi. and still it's not gone away. And Guinea put it in the back of the net, and there's no offside flag, and that goal is surely going to count. And Cameroon simply did not clear their lines, remonstrating with the officials. Higher, the Cameroonian players have been pushed. That's a good ball in from Nkudu, and that's a goal for Cameroon. His opposite number, Magri. And it was just a wonderful cross and a really good header as well, down into the... I suspect there'll be inquests. Look at that reaction from the man who was sent off, Kamano.
So that was
You could cut it out, but that's
in that game between Cameroon and Guinea. Really okay game for me. But Daniel, what did you make of this game, though?
Very interesting game. Now, let me start off from the Cameroonians. Now, remember when Mbeumo was ruled out of the competition? Yeah. I just had this feeling was going to take something out of their offensive play. Now, he was really instrumental during the qualifiers. We saw how good he was. And the absence of Vincent Aboubakar also, his injury, I think he's going to be out for the entire group stages. That was obviously going to take something away from them. So, for me, it was about how would Guinea be able to capitalize on that. We know the Guineans are very good going forward. They themselves had some injury worries in their team. Naby Keita is not fully fit. Guirassy is injured. He's probably, as at now, their best player. So it was a tale of two teams who are fundamentally good, but were missing a couple of their superstars. And how were they going to navigate through? For me, I thought Guinea started the brighter of the two teams. They deserved their lead. And honestly speaking, I think if they didn't go down by a man, they probably would have added a couple more goals to it, because the Cameroonian team just looked a bit rattled. The goalkeeping wasn't the best on the day, but I don't think if Unana was there, it would have made any difference. Anyway, but look, my fundamental problem with this Cameroonian side was how, in terms of the attack, they just look out of sorts. And for me, they panicked a bit too early. They had an entire 45 minutes to calm down and try and get an equalizer. They got it pretty early in the second half. And then they seemed to be rushing the issue throughout the rest of the game. It's like there was a bit too much pressure on them to force and try and win the game, where the spaces were there. Had they been a bit more composed in the final third, maybe they would have fashioned out clearer chances, because the scenarios were there. They just didn't manifest into clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. But then again, you also need to credit the Guineans, because historically, this Guinea team is known to be a very exciting team. They are not known to be able to close shop and defend.
They defeated Nigeria, prior to the tournament, 2-0 in the friendly. It was a big win for them, big boost ahead of the tournament. Siji, let me just get your thoughts on this game quickly, because Dana will have to go to the touchscreen and show us what he also picked from that game. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I thought Cameroon would be very disappointed, obviously, having played the entirety of the second half with a man superior to Guinea. But the second half, the way Guinea set up to, was interesting, because they didn't necessarily concede all possession to Cameroon. They made Cameroon work for it. So whereas you'd see teams conceding possession and sticking into their own half and trying to defend, they were a bit more adventurous. They were also trying to go for, at some point, you couldn't tell if they were really a man down. And as Danny says, without Aboubakar, without Mbeumo, it didn't look like they had the goals in them. And whenever they got into the wide area, the more disappointing thing is, when they got into the wide areas, a lot of the balls that came into the box were very terrible. I think the one quality ball that came into the box, one that in the end resulted in a goal. I think they just need to fine-tune some of the chemistry in attack, without Mbeumo, who obviously is not here, and Aboubakar, who didn't play the entirety of the group stages.
Daniel, now just go show us what you observed in that game.
Okay, so
as far as
I would want to start with the goal Guinea scored. Let's start with that goal and just show you a number of mistakes that Cameroon made in the lead up to the goal. Now, in terms of central midfielders, central defensive midfielders, the principle is always to guard the central areas, because whatever happens, the chance will always have to come into the central area, because the goal is in the middle of the pitch. So whatever happens, you have to be there to bail out your team when the ball comes through the center. Cameroon's shape at this point in time, for me, was a bit problematic. Why? Because they had strayed too much to the ball. Now, if you look at the space that was left in behind, the space, this area, this very large area for teams to attack. This is an empty space, and this is literally waiting and begging for an opposition runner to exploit. But at this point in time, you could say, since there was just one attacker, or let's say two attackers, or let me say one attacker in the central area, obviously, they were not too much in danger. So you could permit them for that. If we continue the play, pass comes in. Now, I don't know if I should call this bad defending or very good attacking play. Because the Guinean attacker seemed to have anticipated the pass, got the run on the Cameroonian defender. I would not want my defender to throw his body in at this point in time because anything can go on. So that's why I don't want to call it bad defending. But at this point, the first mistake comes in, and that is the goalkeeper. Basics of goalkeeping. When you are punching a ball, you punch it away from the danger area. They always say punch it to the sides. So you would want your this goalkeeper to be punching the ball around this area. And if he does this, there's a Cameroonian player who comes in and easily sweeps the ball away. That is mistake one. But again, the mistake was rectified because of the positioning of the Cameroonian defense. There was this guy right here who had the opportunity to clean up the ball. So that is okay. And to his credit, he spots the danger of the incoming runner. And he quickly wins the 50-50 battle because that's where the important thing is. If he misses it, it's either a penalty or the ball is going in the back of the net. So let me just play it for you to see. He sees the incoming runner, quickly wins the 50-50 ball. Now, this is where I don't understand by Kemen, Olivier Kemen. There's a total collapse of concentration and communication from this Cameroonian central defender. Central midfielder, sorry.
Yeah.
He definitely wants the ball. If you see his body language, he basically forces his teammate to allow him to have the ball. But when you're a central defensive midfielder, a certain awareness comes with it. If you are picking the ball around or right on the edge of your box, there's always that 360 scan that has been done before you pick up the ball. So you are aware of where your teammates are, where they are not, where the opposition are, where they are not. You don't pick up the ball in this area, especially in the defensive mindset, and you are not aware of what is happening around you. Now, he picks it up, and he seems caught in two minds. He starts off by dribbling his own teammate and then runs into trouble. Now, this is unacceptable. Unacceptable because as soon as he picks the ball, there are two runners incoming. It means at least one of them should have spotted the incoming press from the Guineans. But that is what? Mistake number two. Now, most people won't find this as a mistake, but I do. Castello's positioning. Just take a look at him, and let me take the footage back a bit and watch his recovery. So when the 50-50 ball is won, he was obviously going back to try and help his team defend it. Once that has been won by your teammate here, the quick awareness is to come and force an offside trap here. That's what you do. You quickly recover and don't allow the opposition to have an advantage. So you quickly retreat because at this point, the Cameroonian player on the floor was the last man when the ball was on the edge of the box. So you go in fine to try and help your team clear up his possession. Your teammate wins it. That sluggish recovery, he was literally playing everybody in the box onside by his slow recovery. And after that, it was done and dusted. The Guineans had yet another opportunity, and this time they didn't miss that opportunity to put the ball in the back of the net. So if the Cameroonian technical team is analyzing this is probably for me the most avoidable goal in the competition, except the goal Black Stars, the second goal Black Stars conceded. This is just a comedy of errors. Mistake after mistake after mistake. It's like they were begging Guinea to score, and Guinea did very well to take advantage of that.
One thing, though, Daniel, was when the defense midfielder was actually playing the back pass. Fremont was asking, who was he playing it to? Because the ball went in the direction of the Guinean player on the floor.
Yeah.
I was wondering, so was he trying to play the ball out of play or what?
Yeah.
It was quite surprising, really. I was quite surprised. Why was he playing the back pass to? Not even to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think he just lost control of the ball in trying to, as Danny said, dribble. But credit to the Guineans in the way they rushed to the scene to press and squeeze. Right there, in a flash, two guys. Yeah, two guys. In a flash, out of nowhere, pam, they are pouncing. And that's some credit to them because another team just stands and think that the first chance is gone and they are not applying themselves. Yeah.
Now, what I want to highlight next is the goal that Guinea conceded. And for me, I was highly disappointed in that goal. It seems like a simple one, but I'll explain it. the goal Cameroon scored. So there are principles in defending, how you defend when certain things or certain scenarios occur in a game. Now, this was Guinea, a man down. Now, most coaches will tell you when they're a man down, they want to be a bit more compact. If you spread it out, there are a bit more spaces in between the lines. So what you do is either you are going to allow the cross to come in and defend the cross or prevent the cross from coming in. Now, clearly from Guinea's shape, they were going to allow the cross to come in because you look at the numbers in the box as at the time, or the Nkudu picks up the ball. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 players already in the box against Cameroon's 1 player in the box. So at this point in time, it is covered. Now, this is where my disappointment comes in from this guy. If you are going to this Guinea marker, if you are going to attempt to press, then you have to do a better job. Because you sacrificing yourself means an extra body lost in the box to help defend. So if you are going in, then you need to be more aggressive and stop Nkudu from getting that cross in. But it was a bit too easy for Nkudu. He switched on, and we all know he's right-footed. Switched on to his right foot. And when you stand off him, like, there's no way you're going to block that cross. So he was just an empty body there, occupying space and doing nothing. Then again, you don't get beaten at the back post, especially for a ball that has come in. There are 2 defenders in there. I think this was just a lack of communication from the Guinean centre-backs, because it looked like a ball that would be dealt with. From here, the goalkeeper doesn't seem like he's in danger. He doesn't think he's in danger. Because where the direction of the cross is going to the far post, it's going to take a very good header, an uncontested header to get him. So he seems pretty safe. And I think he expects his 2 central or his 2 defenders to be able to deal with the flight of the ball. But clearly, this one loses he can see he's lost flight of the ball. So he's clearly depending on his teammates to try this one. His teammate in the one-on-one battle to get possession of the ball. Now, when you allow your marker to climb over you, the contention has already been lost. Because I wish I could demonstrate it with my body positioning. Because you see, when you are defending like that and the attacker is coming behind you, it's very similar to the goal Ghana conceded against South Korea.
Yep.
When the attacker is coming behind you and you can't see, okay, coaches will tell you, because you can see the flight of the ball but can't see the attacker, you take the early leap.
Yep.
Now, if you take the early leap, you are blocking him from... It's basically physics. If you take the early leap before the ball comes, he will now have to retime his jump, and it will upset the way he heads the ball. But if you lean back, trying to feel where he is and not too sure, but you can see the flight of the ball, then you are defending the man, but not properly, and you are not defending the ball, which is the danger. Because the ball is what will end up in the back of the net, not the man.
Yeah. So
the sort of defending there was a bit problematic. In principle, they had enough men to be able to prevent this goal. But some way, somehow, because of an individual error, they were not able to. And I'm sure they would have been very disappointed. Because, as Cicho said, when the game panned out, they didn't necessarily do your sit-back, compact, defend kind of thing. They had possession at times. And that's a brilliant thing about defending. You can defend by keeping possession. You can defend by parking the bus. They blended the 2 and they were able to see off the game. And Cameroon basically didn't create any chance after this.
I mean, we're just going to take a look at the red card situation finally. I remember that we said we would love to hear from you. You've seen the analysis the guys are doing here. Maybe you have some thoughts you'd love to share with us, seen things that they haven't seen. Join us via Zoom. The ID is on your screen pretty shortly. Join us right now, and hopefully we'll be able to pick maybe 3, 4, 5 people who've got some interesting analysis to share with us also. So just do that and share with us, okay? So let's just take a look at the red card situation that happened. The red card situation, I'm sure that's on your screen now. And Cicho, I'll get your thoughts on that very quickly. And Daniel, also your thoughts on it. So that was the red card situation, similar to, I think it was quite similar to the Gambian situation,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. And I think even this for me is, I just thought it was straight away a red card, right? There's an angle where his leg is stretched and is catching again the heel of his man. Intentional or not, it's a dangerous play. His man is in danger of breaking his leg if he's not lucky. So yeah, I get it. It's a red card for me all day long.
But was it disappointing that Cameroon were unable to take advantage of Guinea's, one man down?
Yes, it was, but I don't think it was a red card. Now, yeah, it's called a high boot. Okay, the rules for showing stats is when it's high, when it goes over the boot itself. So if it goes around the ankle area, around the Achilles area on this occasion, yes, it's a red card. But when he's catching the heel of the player, he basically didn't lift his foot. His foot was still on the ground when it caught him. It's a mistake, it's painful, but I think the initial decision of a yellow card was right. The difference in the Gambia one was he actually raised his foot and it was almost catching the opposition's calf. That's different. That's higher up the leg. This one basically had his foot on the ground. It was a very natural movement. He was running after him, and then he clipped him. In the other one, you saw him sort of stretch, and it went a bit higher.
But when you consider the caveat that it was a dangerous play,
And more so, again, where the rule still is very firm on tackles from behind, it's on his Achilles. And there's no way he's getting the ball from there. Look at that. There's no way he's getting the ball from there. So if the tackle is coming from behind, then the intention is not necessarily to get to the ball. Then the referee has got a decision to make. And that is why, for me, I just think it's a red card.
well, the guys think it's a red card. Daniel disagrees. Well, not sure what you think. Hopefully, maybe when you join us on Zoom, we'll get to hear your thoughts on it. But remember, the show is also brought to you by Syntex. And what is your preferred color of tank? Syntex has it. What guarantee do you want? Syntex has it. What kind of inner layer do you want? Double, triple, quadruple, as many inner layers you want, Syntex has it too. So remember, no matter your water needs, Syntex has it. And the Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. And of course, we have over 300 agents nationwide. And to order a tank, you just need to call 0244 335 168. And you can also visit Syntex on all social media platforms at Syntex Ghana or shop online on www.syntexgh.com. Syntex, a strong, a tough. Well, the action in Group C ended, and we're just going to take a look at how the standings are in that group at the moment. And, well, we'll take a look at that, understand, after this short break. But remember, we'll also be picking your thoughts after this short break also. Well, welcome back. You're still watching AFCON tonight. My name is Razak Musbawi. We're live on Joy Prime, and Sicho is here, Daniel Kranti is here. We've gone through the game, the first game that happened today between Senegal and Gambia. Senegal won that game by 3-0. And of course, we brought you some really insightful analysis. And also the game between Cameroon and Guinea, which ended 1-0. Also brought you some analysis of that. Well, the game between Angola and Algeria has ended, and we understand that was also a stalemate, 1-1 in the ended. So quite interesting results today. Only one win today, just like yesterday too. Only one win. Just unfortunately, the Black Stars were the victims of that win over there. But let's look at how the Group C table is looking like after the first round of fixtures over there. And that's going to be on the screen very shortly. I'm sure Senegal at top of that group. And so that's how it's looking like. Senegal 3, Cameroon 1, Guinea 1, Gambia 0. Next game is going to be Senegal versus Cameroon on Friday. Then Guinea will play Gambia. Guys, is it already shaping the way we are likely to see the group to end?
Yeah, and I like the way the AFCON is shaping up because every group is throwing up interesting match day 2 and match day 3 fixtures. For Gambia and Guinea, it's a crucial one because they know 3 points in that game. It's crucial, especially for Gambia. If they have any chance, they've got to win that one. They are also being held by the number of goals they conceded. Yeah. But for Guinea, they would want to win against Gambia to cement the place in the last 16 because they know that Senegal could do them a favor over Cameroon. And by the time Cameroon plays Guinea, maybe then Guinea would need the 3 points in that fixture. So it's all set up for what would be a very fascinating second round of fixtures.
Well, of course, one game lots of people are looking forward to is that game on Friday between Senegal and Cameroon. It should be an exciting game, to be fair.
Yeah, it should be exciting. Already there's pressure on Cameroon. If they lose that one...
Hopefully by then, Onana will be back, right?
Yeah, Onana,
he's already in camp.
He's
already in camp. Hopefully he'll be in post.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I don't think it will make a difference. But
Cameroon... Why though? Why will Onana not make a difference for them?
No, but we've seen his form so far this season.
He chopped 2 against Spurs, which I like.
That's not he chopped 2 against. He's a mistake.
Consider 50 goals this season.
50, what?
50 goals. I saw something like that. 50 goals
maybe
already.
this year. Maybe
Yeah.
50 goals already in our leave. No, but on a more serious note, it's serious pressure on Cameroon. They failed to capitalize on that red card from the Guinea game. That would have been an easy 3 points for them. Then they would have entered the Senegal game a bit more relaxed. But this time around, there's a bit more pressure on them to beat Senegal and get them relaxed on their last games against Gambia. If they lose this game against Senegal, then they will have to beat Gambia on the last day, and that becomes very tricky. But this is one of the groups that, before the competition, we actually predicted that 3 teams from this group will surely be making it through because the quality in this group is just too much. The only unfortunate thing for Gambia is the goal difference. Now, with the 4 out of 6 third-place teams to qualify from the round of 16, you need to protect your goal difference.
Yep.
You might finish with 4 points, you might finish with 3 points, but you would lose out on goal difference. And that's what we saw in the last AFCON. There were 2 teams that suffered that fate. Same points as your colleague somewhere, but the fact that you've conceded a few more goals than them cost you a place in the round of 16. So they will now have to score more to try and offset that deficit, and they don't have that quality in them to get multiple goals in them. So Gambia already look like they are down and out. But for Cameroon and Senegal, we expect them to serve us quite a crack. And for Cameroon, they've not looked too good, but they're a team that know how to turn up for the occasion. And certainly, even if they go down against Senegal, it's going to be a very tough one for the Teranga Lions.
You know, Sicha, I saw the game between Angola and Algeria. I saw how it started, and Algeria started really well. Really well. Good goal. Of course, another brilliant goal that was ruled out. Similar to how Egypt started and almost lost the game. Were you surprised that Angola were able to pick a point over Algeria?
Yeah, I was surprised because of the way Algeria started the game. They were immense. The intensity of their game was superb. How sharp they were with the passing was great. The positions, Belaili, Mahrez, Bunaja, Bentaleb were picking, Vanessa were picking were great. But credit to Angola, in the first 25 minutes, they could have been out of the tie. But what they did was to stay in the game. Just stay in the game and soak that pressure. And it's important when it comes to tournaments because teams are always going to have their spells. And those spells doesn't mean that is how the game is going to go through. So you don't concede or you don't lose your discipline, team discipline to those spells. And that's what Angola did. In that first half, Algeria was so good I didn't think Angola had a chance. But in the second half, Algeria started losing a little bit of momentum because they were playing at a very high intensity. And by the time they were losing gas, Angola had frustrated them and they were hanging in the game. And when you hang in the game of football, and Algeria looking for the second, and now the openings are coming for you to counter, you start causing problems. And what happened then was a penalty for Angola. They took their spot kick, they got a 1 goal, and they got back to staying in the game and protecting that lead. And they have 1 point from a game that not many people would have thought they would pick up points from.
Well, we're going to just take a quick look at the games that will be happening tomorrow because the action continues. And that was the first game in Group D between Angola and Algeria. Then we'll see the action tomorrow. Also, the remaining fixtures. I think 3 games are coming up tomorrow too, right? But before that, let me tell you about Pride Bet because the new year is here and the excitement is all on pridebet.com.gh. Pride Bet is giving out lots of exciting gifts and you could be a winner too. Just stay active on Pride Bet and be a part of the luck this season to win yourself mobile phones, Bluetooth, airports and TV sets. And that's not all. You can now bet on international lotto results from the US, UK, and even Ghana. Charlie? Well, so visit pridebet.com.gh, register, and enjoy 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit. And of course, we expect the new year and 2024 to be exciting. It go be with Pride Bet. Pride Bet, let's go. TNC's applied. Pride Bet is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana over there. So we will just take a quick look at the fixtures happening tomorrow. And but guys, I mean, I'm not sure if you've shared your thoughts on Ghana. We lost, but Charlie, Thursday, check like it will be small.
Quickly on the Algeria game.
Yeah.
If they don't take care, they could easily revisit the ghost of the last AFCON. Similar thing happened in their first game last AFCON against Sierra Leone. They completely outclassed the opposition, created chance after chance, failed to capitalize on it. They settled for a draw. Oh, it will get better. Then in the second game, in fact, the trend continued until the last game where they deserved to lose against Cote d'Ivoire. But these are games that you should be killing off. When you create chances like that in the first half, the big teams will usually kill them off. We saw what Senegal did. You don't want to give any team in this AFCON a chance to come back into a game. And for them, they will have to look at their finishing and quickly sharpen the edges before the second and the third game, because anything can go wrong. We saw it last time around. Didn't think it will happen at the start of the group. In fact, they were in the same group with Equatorial Guinea and Sierra Leone last season, and the last AFCON, and still managed to finish bottom of their group. So they would not want that to happen again. So they really need to sort out their finishing.
I mean, guys, just a quick thought so we can wrap up. And also for those of you who couldn't join us via Zoom, hopefully tomorrow you can get to join us so we can get to pick your thoughts. Which of the games are you looking forward to tomorrow, though?
Honestly speaking, after what happened on Sunday night, I'm not looking forward to anything because I don't want Thursday to come.
Because they don't want what?
I don't want Thursday to come. If I got to, it will be Monday night for the rest of my life.
Oh my goodness.
So that Thursday, Ghana versus Egypt doesn't come. But of course, there are some big games coming up tomorrow. This is the AFCON. And I really can't pinpoint the game I'm looking forward to because you would think that this game won't live up to expectation, and then it would. I almost would have skipped the Egypt-Mozambique game because I thought it was going to be a straightforward one. Then it ends up being a very exciting 2-2 draw. We've seen games like that throughout this competition. The Nigeria-Equatorial Guinea game, you would have thought that, okay, fine, Nigeria are going to breeze through, and then Equatorial Guinea gives them a fight. So every game is interesting. Every game serves up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the group stage. You want to see how every team takes their first game. It gives you an idea of how ready the teams are and the dangers the teams can pose. But I want to see how Morocco are going to come with the whole pressure of being favourites and having gone to the World Cup semi-final. Morocco is a great side. They've got some very talented footballers. But I think this AFCON will give them a different test to what the World Cup presented them. While the World Cup, they were playing against teams that were superior. So it was easy for them to sit back and play as underdogs. But in Africa, they have to play as top dogs. And that is a different way to approach the game. You can't afford to sit back like they did against Spain, against Portugal. When they play in Africa, they need to take the games to opponents, and we'll see how well they can do that. But one thing I like about them, they can mix it up. They have very good crosses of the ball, and they've got a very lethal striker in the air in El Nesiri. So we'll see how Morocco will shape up as well.
Well, we'll see how Morocco will shape up tomorrow. And of course, after that game, we'll be here same time, 10 to 11 p.m. And we'll get to do all the analysis, touch the screen, and help you enjoy the game in a different perspective other than, the regular 90 minutes football that you watched over there. But of course, the show was brought to you by pridebet.com.gh, and Citex Tank also supported us, and Hunter's Real Apple. Great products that you really, really need to make some time and enjoy yourself. We went to Daniel's wedding, and some really nice Hunter's Real Apple was there. And of course, Sicho too. Senior man, he gets some Syntex tank for your house, so Charlie, he gets sorted. Daniel is there to get a tank, but I say, yes, he gets some tank, be like, if we go change up.
I will change up.
So guys, that's it. We're going to be back sometime tomorrow. My name is Razak Musbao. You've been watching Enjoy Prime. And it's been AFCON tonight. Of course, 1 to 2 p.m. is AFCON today, so stay with us.